PEGI 18.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider developer Eidos Montreal has been working for years to bring Lara Croft's latest adventure to life, but the story is far from over. Join us as we go behind the scenes at Eidos Montreal for a closer look at the making of the DLC.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan Arn. I'm the associate producer on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I want to take you backstage to the production of DLCs because we want to give you something very special and we're working on very exciting stuff. So here we have one of our concept artists, Michael Veraf, who's working on one of the outfits. Basically, we're going to bring some of the fantasies of the characters and the factions that you meet in the game. In some cases, it's going to be around hunting, some cases around mimicking what Trinity, the enemy, is doing. Those thematics will be linked with the narratives of the side missions and the tombs. So everything is linked together. Every DLC is a big new narrative that you get to explore.
We are adding stuff to the main game, and we're pushing the consoles to, pretty much their limits. So adding anything in terms of memory, in terms of the game's performance, it's really a challenge, and we have to pull some magic tricks to do it.
More tombs, and more tombs. We always are listening to the fans in the community, and what we learned is that they want more tombs. They wanted more tombs, so we decided to bring more and add a new twist to it.
The last month of a project is all about the very little details, adding polish, being back to a more conceptual, creative phase. It's really exciting for them. It makes them even come with crazy designs and weird ideas.
They're almost like a revived energy. They get to tackle new content and new mechanics. So it's really exciting to see that the team kind of motivates themselves because we're giving them like a whole new arena in which to play.
The city of Montreal is home to countless game studios and has seen the rise of many AAA franchises. What is it about the city that gives rise to such talented developers?
Most of all, we are storytellers. It's in the core of a lot of studios in Montreal. I know it's in the DNA of Eidos Montreal, that's for sure. We love mixing carefully crafted action and meaningful stories.
We listen to the players and we listen also to our own feedback, and I feel that's giving Shadow of the Tomb Raider a different flavor that's really specific to Montreal and Eidos.
With the main game available now and the DLC starting to roll out, how does the team look back on their time crafting Lara's latest adventure?
We've all been working on that game for a few years now. I've been working also on Rise before that, so it's really a part of my life. I feel like it's a tremendous privilege to work on such a high-profile franchise.
At first, when I started on the franchise, it was pretty intimidating. It has to be perfect, and the emotional pace going with that has to be too.
It's always a bit bittersweet, the end of a project, the end of a game. With the team, you become family. You spend so much time together, all focused on achieving the same goal. And there's this day where the game's going to be out there, and it doesn't belong to you anymore. It doesn't belong to us. It's going to belong to the players. It's like sending your child into the world or something. So yeah, it's exciting.
It's a huge responsibility, and we really hope that people will enjoy Shadow of the Tomb Raider and the DLCs.
PEGI 18.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider is Lara Croft's most epic and dangerous adventure yet, but her journey is far from over. The team at Eidos Montreal are hard at work on an entire season of DLC that will let players jump back into the game in whole new ways. Join us as we explore the making of the co-op features in the DLC and find out how players can share the adventure. Lara Croft is often portrayed as a lone adventurer, but with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the developers wanted to create a much bigger co-op experience than ever before, with players able to work together in more tombs and more modes. This presents a whole new set of challenges for not just the players, but for the developers as well.
Hello, I'm Vincent Monnier. I'm gameplay director on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We are finishing Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we're working on the DLC to give you more content, and part of the DLC is the cooperative gameplay. We're going to tell you all about it today. The real challenge was actually to build an environment that you can visit on your own and with someone, so you can actually do both.
When it comes to multiplayer or co-op, you need to take in consideration the other player. It gets things more complicated, so you need to account for that in terms of the level art, level design, the VFX, the sound, so the other players always know what is going on.
Tomb Raider is such a personal and emotional journey. At first we were very intimidated. It was really about how are we going to make this co-op experience compared to the single?
We're game developers. We love challenges.
We saw that some of the designers, with that added challenge, they started to thrive. Some of the designs that they come up with are super impressive. When people play, they're actually very surprised by how insane some of those designs are.
We start to think about, okay, how can we improve the experience? How can it be beneficial for players to be together? So then we thought about timing, of course. You can do things at the same time. There's also space. You can be at two different spaces. We want players to have cooperation and to have choices. So we build the tombs around that and the co-op tombs around that.
So by playing with another person, you'll be able to access other places in the level. So in terms of traversal, you'll benefit from having another player to help you gain access to these places.
It's something that's maybe not a very traditional way of thinking about multiplayer. It's not about, shooting at stuff together or overcoming enemies combat, but being smart together and coming back to the heart of what Tomb Raider is.
Expanding the co-op doesn't just mean that players will have a lot more to do. It also means that they'll have more freedom to decide what they do and how they do it.
What you can do is choose your role. You can pick your role not only at the beginning of the tomb, but in the middle. You have several situations and you can decide to be the one more active and helping out your friend, and your friend has to rush super fast somewhere, but so not to die. So you can always pick your role and go where you're more comfortable.
Try to find separate paths. Like player 1 will solve the step 1 while player 2 works on the step number 2 so that they can advance faster. And there are also in the tombs specific paths that are only accessible in co-op that you cannot go if you both stay on the same path. So they should try to spread and explore the tomb as much as possible, and they will see that they'll find more secrets, more ways to beat the tombs faster.
You can communicate not only with the mic, but you can use the ping tool we have, which is a tool where you can actually ping things to tell the players, go there or do that. The other thing is the speed run. And the speed run is really cool, especially in co-op, because you have to be perfect in your move, in your timing, and both of you has to be. And it's almost like reading your partner's mind and go as fast as you can.
We're giving you those huge challenges to accomplish, and in co-op it feels even more gratifying.
Feeling smart together is a great feeling.
Yeah.
Join us as we delve deeper into the DLC for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. In the next chapter, we'll take a closer look behind the scenes and get to know the developers.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chaillet-Bisson, Game Director at Eidos Montreal. I'm going to talk to you about Shadow of the Tomb Raider in 30 seconds. This game is about the end of the origin story, where you'll see Lara becoming a Tomb Raider that she's meant to become. For that, to really understand and seeing that, we had to create a game that was much more emotional and about a personal journey. In this game, Lara will have to make choices, and these choices will have deep impact on the world. There's a scene, for example, in the game where she's making an impulsive. There's no more time. If you want to know more about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, let's see each other at E3.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a lead performance at Eidos Montreal, and I'm going to try to explain you in 30 seconds what I'm doing on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. One of the aspects of the game that my team and I are working on is the social aspect. For example, Jonah is really more present in that game. He's a character from the previous games, obviously, but this time Lara and him will experience stuff together. It will give a more grounded and believable aspect to Lara. Another social aspect that we worked on is civilization. This time Lara won't be alone as she used to be. Lara will be able to actually interact with human beings. She will discover... Time up, I can't say no more. Stay tuned for more information at E3 on Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
My name is Frédéric Arnaud. I'm the lead sound designer at Eidos Montreal, and today I'm going to talk to you in 30 seconds about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Our goal in the sound side was to bring an immersive experience to the player. For the jungle, when Lara will be in a certain region, you're going to hear the real birds from that region in real life. For the dialogue, we went to Mexico and we record real Mexican voice actor to bring the real-life environment to the game. To bring the immersion to another level, we record a tortillas machine. All those little details help the player to the immersion, especially when Lara is going to the city. Not enough time. If you want more information about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we will be at the next E3.
I'm Jason Dozwell, narrative director on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and in 30 seconds I'm going to talk about the story of the game. It's a tremendous responsibility to be in charge of wrapping up Lara's origin story in a satisfying way. Along with the classic external hunting, racing, chasing for artifacts, there's also much more intrigue and mysteries for Lara to solve in this episode. After lots of research into Mesoamerican cultures, we came up with a very interesting path of clues and a challenge for Lara to solve and find out where the location of a hidden artifact is. An artifact that Lara's looking for, that Trinity's hunting for, but there's also a third. That's all the time we have for now. To find out more on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, check us out at E3.
Hi, I'm Jill Murray. I'm a lead writer for Eidos Montreal, and I'm going to tell you about my work on Shadow of the Tomb Raider in 30 seconds. To close this trilogy, we see Lara Croft become the powerful Tomb Raider she's destined to be. But depending on perspective, a hero can also be a threat. So in her defining moment, Lara will have to decide which of those she is. I'm most proud that we've crafted an emotional, character-driven story. We'll take a deeper look at Lara's relationship with her best friend Jonah, and in Dr. Dominguez, we have an antagonist who is really Lara's equal. He challenges her because at the end of the day, his motivations are just as compelling as her. Oh, time's up. We're excited to tell you more about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so please check us out at E3.
Hi, my name is Mathieu Bissonnette. I'm a level designer at Eidos Montreal, and today, in 30 seconds, I'm going to talk about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, from a level design perspective, the big difference is that Lara is now, from the prey to the predator, she's now fully in control. Lara is using everything at her disposal, the environment, the ingredients, to infuse fear into the heart of the enemies. For instance, if she takes down one of the enemy from the group, they start to panic, they start to be afraid, and this way it's easier for her to push forward into the space. There's this moment in the game where Lara only have her knife, and she's gonna use fear to... Sorry guys, that's all the time we've got. See you at E3 for even more details on Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Yann Régnier, je suis artiste 3D chez Eidos Montréal et en 30 secondes je vais vous parler de mon travail sur Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Il y a beaucoup de puzzles et de mécanismes dans ce jeu, j'en ai fait plus de 50. Mon travail consiste à essayer de rendre les mécanismes et les puzzles fonctionnels en mécanique pour éviter les objets magiques. Je me suis beaucoup documenté sur la civilisation qu'on a dans le jeu et de me limiter en termes de matériaux, du bronze, pas de fer, de la corde, de la pierre, de l'obsidienne, du bois. Une machine en particulier m'a demandé beaucoup de temps de conception. J'ai essayé d'imaginer ce qui me ferait le plus peur en fait devant une tombe. J'ai repensé à une sorte d'araignée. Désolé, le temps est terminé. Rendez-vous à l'E3 pour découvrir mes mécanismes dans Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Hello, my name is Charlie Chive. I'm a concept artist here at Eidos Montreal, and I'll show you the work I've done on Shadow of the Tomb Raider in 30 seconds. In this game, it was super important to show the emotions of the characters. When you want to suggest a mood, you can do it through a color script. Using narrative context, you can drive the colors that you need in your scene. For example, if Lara is in danger, you can use hard shadows to give tension, and green to show insecurity. It was fun in that game to play with the colors and create mood that bring the player in the story. So that's it for today. If you want more info of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, follow us at E3.
Hi, I'm David Hubert, Cinematic Director at Eidos Montreal, and today we're going to talk about the Shadow of the Tomb Raider. For this game we have a much darker tone. Lara Croft is going through a lot, and we knew that in terms of performance, the intensity of some of the sequence would be pretty high. We really want to make sure to capture those moments with the actors and really nail those moments to create strong moments within the game that the player is going to remember for a while. There's a sequence, for instance, with Lara and Jonah, who are in an argument, and from the moment that we see the performance on stage, we knew that it was something very special, never seen before. Oh, sorry, time's up. More details are going to be revealed at the next E3, so stay tuned.
Allô, je m'appelle Audrey Flamand-Lapointe, je suis Senior Lighting Artist chez Eidos Montréal. Je vais vous parler de Shadow of the Tomb Raider en 30 secondes. Dans ce nouveau jeu, les couleurs, les contrastes et les emplacements de chaque lumière ne sont pas placés au hasard. Tout est décidé pour aider le joueur à ressentir les émotions de Lara à travers l'histoire. Est-ce que c'est du passé? Est-ce que c'est du présent? Les couleurs aident à tout. Les lumières sont placées de façon stratégique pour découper les formes, l'espace et sentir la profondeur. De cette façon, le joueur peut savoir où se cacher avec Lara et où est-ce que les ennemis sont placés. Il y a un endroit dans le jeu où est-ce qu'on sent vraiment la profondeur avec l'aide de la lumière volumétrique et du brouillard. Les ennemis sont bien découpés et mis en... Oh, le temps est terminé. Si vous voulez en savoir plus sur Shadow of the Tomb Raider, rendez-vous à l'E3.
Hey, I'm Martin Palco. I'm a senior technical artist at Eidos Montreal, and I'm going to talk to you about Shadow of the Tomb Raider in 30 seconds. On this game, we did a lot of work improving a lot of visual effects, such as fire, smoke, explosions, water. One of our goals is to be very realistic, and we use a lot of real-world physical formulas in the game. For the fire, we actually measure the temperature of the flame and generate a color based on that. So there's a scene where Laura's wading through a pool of water that has oil floating on the surface. So we did a lot of work to make that oil very believable, including like the sheen and the color separation on the top of the water and the... sorry guys, we're out of time, but you can check out more about Shadow of the Tomb Raider at this year's E3.
Hello, my name is Bianca Lavric and I am a Dev QA tester at Eidos Montreal, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Shadow of the Tomb Raider in 30 seconds. Inside of this new Tomb Raider game, the enemy AI is very complex, and as QA we gotta test it. We gotta test that the waypoints work, that Lara's cover points work, that the enemy AI's cover point work, that we can shoot them, they can shoot us, that they can see us. And then we have to test the triggers. Some of them are more complex than others, and as QA we gotta make sure that everything streams in properly. There's this one moment, we spent a lot of time on it, and we gotta make sure that Lara, when she crosses a boundary, the helicopter that comes... Sorry guys, but this is over, and we'll see you at E3 with more information about Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Hello, my name is Daniel Tapo. I'm a gameplay director at Eidos Montreal, and today I'm going to describe to you in 30 seconds what we did on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Lara takes advantage of her environment. This can be seen, for example, in swimming, where now she can navigate freely in all body of water and explore new environment from small cavern to massive challenge tomb where she'll find substantial rewards. This freedom of navigation can also be seen in other layers, for example in canopy traversal where she can jump from tree to tree, and also walrus. Well, my time is up, so see you at E3 where you'll have more info on Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Hey, I'm David Boileau, lead UI here at Eidos Montreal, and I'm going to take 30 seconds to talk to you about UI on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. For UI on Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we wanted to focus a lot on the maturity aspect of the presentation layer. We wanted to really achieve a cinematic type of experience. This is about reducing the noise and the congestion of textures on the HUD to make sure that the player's not being sucked out of the immersion of the experience. Oftentimes in UI, when nobody notices us, this is when we've done our job. And one of the other aspects we really wanted to focus on was the map screen. With us, we have a much more grounded experience. We've gone for more of a top-down approach with something like Sorry guys, time's up. If you want more information about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, definitely check us out at E3.
Hi, my name is Marco Foglia. I'm a senior cinematics animator at Eidos Montreal. I can talk to you about Shadow of the Tomb Raider in 30 seconds. I work in the cinematics team. We're responsible for the cinematics of the game. A lot of the cinematics are based off performance capture with live actors, but there were several animals we had to create for this game, and those are impossible to mocap. So it's pretty challenging for us. It requires a lot of hours of going through footage and reference of the character. In this game specifically, there were some jaguars that became pretty important characters in the story and the game itself. And there's a scene where Lara kind of gets confronted by a jaguar after a pretty long fight. Looks like my time is up. More will be announced at E3 this year for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Hello guys, I'm David Anfossi, Eidos Montreal Studio Head. I'm here to talk about the Shadow of the Tomb Raider development. For Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Eidos Montreal led the development in collaboration with Crystal Dynamics. So we had to build a team with people who already worked on the Tomb Raider franchise, like Dan Bisson as creative director, with talented experts who never worked on this franchise, like Mario Chaptini as senior producer, Martin Dubot as art director. And these guys deliver an amazing Tomb Raider experience. I'm very proud of them. The most exciting part for the studio is that they will stick together to work on future development. That's it for today. We are hard at work to prepare the E3. So see you over there.
One of Canada's treasures is the beautiful city of Montreal, and nestled in the heart of the downtown core is Shadow of the Tomb Raider developer Eidos Montreal. The team has been working for years to deliver Lara Croft's most epic adventure yet, but Lara's journey is far from over. Join us as we explore the DLC of Shadow of the Tomb Raider and we follow a shadow. Finishing up a project as large as Shadow of the Tomb Raider is never easy, but Eidos Montreal is an experienced team with a lot of tomb raiding under its belt. For the DLC, the plan was to create many compelling experiences to keep Lara Croft fans entertained for many months.
Hi, my name is Mario Chaptini. I'm the senior producer of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Welcome to Eidos Montreal. We will walk you through our huge post-launch offer in which you'll get to play a completely new challenge tomb with your friend, a new side mission, a new weapon, and a new outfit, and a new skill, so you can customize your own Lara, and we have a lot more to tell you.
X marks the spot.
In the post-launch content, we'll get deeper into the story, understand more of the world that we showcased in the main game, get deeper into our secondary characters and the world they live in.
Let's take a look.
They're going to discover more about the secondary character, and now you know more about them, you know more about their past and about their motives. And on top of that, they are going to know more about Lara.
We have a lot of content for many types of player. If you are more into the story, you will get the side missions. If you are more a puzzle guy, then you're going to be able to experience those challenge tombs.
We had several ideas, but we actually went with the core of the franchise with the tomb raiding. We really wanted to offer more tombs, more longer experience, and different experiences.
Another way the team is offering a different experience is with paths. When players finish the main game, 3 additional skill paths are unlocked and available through New Game Plus, giving them new outfits, weapons, and skills.
So when the player finishes the game for the first time, the New Game Plus option gets revealed. And we came up with those idea of having paths. So paths are a combination of an outfit, a weapon, and skills.
With the path, you'll be able to replay the entire campaign with new skills, new ability, and replay those sections of the game you like the most. So you can customize your Lara and play the game the way you want.
So depending on how you customize Lara during your first playthrough, you will either prefer to continue on that path or choose new abilities and new ways to play.
With each DLC, we'll release a new path. It could be a path that gives you high-tech gadget weapon if you're on the path of Trinity, for instance.
So it could be more related to the Mayan warriors that you encounter, so that would be the path of Kukulkan, for example, that the faction, the leader of the faction. Every faction has its specialty, and we're really exploring that fantasy.
Those outfits and those skills and those weapons can affect your abilities to explore, to hunt, for instance, have animals react less to your presence, take more time to detect you.
To me, hunting is something deep down inside of me, so everything related to her hunting skills, it's something I like to do in the game.
Or they can give you an advantage in combat, make you more stealthy. They are really tied to play styles that you will want to explore and how much you want to customize Lara into one direction.
And we have additional abilities, more secondary ammo to the firearms that comes with some of the paths. For example, the grenade launcher would be one of them. That's kind of changing the game when you come into certain combat situations. Let's say your playstyle will be very different when you have that.
That's going to come to a total of 10, since we'll have the 3 New Game Plus path, plus 1 path for each of the DLCs, so that's 7 DLCs.
Another important part of the DLC is the addition of co-op, allowing players to raid tombs with their friends. This presents a whole new set of fun challenges.
One thing that we will bring is being able to play those challenge tombs that are very challenging, treacherous with another player.
You also get to explore more as a player how you react playing with someone, because cooperation is part of the DLC. Experiencing a tomb not only by yourself but with a friend is very, very different. So you're going to discover that traps are easier and faster to escape or to solve with a friend.
Looking forward, the dev team has big plans for the post-launch content, with each batch of DLC offering a new and distinct theme.
In addition to the new content that you can play, we're really adding more to that, more outfits, more weapons. They're really thematized around new things, like the new narrative that we explore in the DLCs.
Every player will get to download an hour worth of gameplay every month for 7 months. You will have 1 completely new challenge tomb, 1 side mission, 1 path.
That's a lot of customization options that we're giving for Lara.
They're really a great addition to the collection.
Join us as we delve deeper into the DLC for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. In the next chapter, we'll take a closer look behind the scenes and find out more about what players can expect from co-op.
Hello and welcome to GeForce. I'm Julian and I'm joined by Chris and Jason, and we're here to talk about what else? Tomb Raider. We're at the Mayan, the most appropriate place I can imagine to talk about this game. I'm really looking forward to this 3rd installment in the reboot of the franchise. But before we kick it off, why don't you tell me, Chris, exactly what is your philosophy approaching this storied franchise from 2013 up until today?
Well, we're really excited because we're really building up the momentum of the franchise, and right now, we are going to experience Lara Croft's defining moment in becoming the Tomb Raider.
So you guys are working with NVIDIA for the PC development of this game as well. The previous game, Rise of the Tomb Raider, had tons of PC features that really made it a very beautiful game, and a game that was used as a consistent benchmark. Like, that's what you test your rig on, was Rise of the Tomb Raider. What's the thinking going into Shadow of the Tomb Raider now?
Absolutely. You guys have always been great partners. We always strive to give the best, experience on every single version of the game possible. And we love to, crank up every single, dial and knob so people can test out different things. You guys share the same passion for quality as we do, and we just, want to deliver that most immersive experiences that we possibly can.
Yeah, you get to see some of the features on and off in the last Tomb Raider game, and the difference is really stunning on what it does for the environment and the world and the immersion. This environment now, we've moved on to the Yucatan Peninsula, right? We're in the jungle in Central America. For the story, for the gameplay, what does that open up for you, Jason?
Well, mainly the environment of the jungle being a dangerous place, a place of life and death. Also, foliage and being immersed, hiding, and becoming one with the jungle is a key message that we have for the game. So it's really getting Lara into these situations, mastering the environment and using it as a weapon. When we say it's Lara's defining moment and she's going to become the Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider is being a protector, going and realizing that her actions have consequences. And if you keep searching and keep just raiding things and without understanding the context, it has a human cost associated with that. So she needs to learn that lesson and really become the Tomb Raider that she's destined to be.
So in the reboot, the first one, the tombs were present. They were kind of a smaller aspect of the game. The second one, they were challenge tombs on the side that you could explore. The puzzles were bigger and it added more to the game. What's the approach to the tombs now in this third iteration?
Well, one word that we use often is fear. We're trying to make the tombs as terrifying as possible, whereas in Rise of the Tomb Raider they were grandiose and uplifting and light. Now we're really going down into the darkness. Everything is dangerous. The way to get to the tomb is dangerous, and solving the actual interactions can kill you. So you need to be even more smart and resourceful to solve these tombs.
Well, I'm a big fan of the first two in the reboot. I cannot wait to see this. September 14th is your scheduled release, right?
September 14th, but if you pre-order it, you get 2 days early access.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with us about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you guys for tuning in here on GeForce September 14th. Check the game out and stay tuned for plenty more content here on GeForce.
Look at this. It's the constellation Hydra, the serpent. This star is the heart. It's set in the southwest.
So southwest from the Amazon River, Brazil.
Peru.
Peru?
Okay, this date from the ruins, see, if you look closely, it is damaged. This number looks like a 13, but what if it's really an 8? With precession, it would... Precession. The Earth tilts, so over time, these stars appear in a different place on the horizon. Important if you're navigating by the night sky.
Okay.
In the Mayan calendar, that's a 2,000-year difference. Back then, the heart of the serpent set directly to the west.
So that's why it's in Peru, not Brazil. Trinity has been looking in the wrong place.
Exactly. We need to look for the Silver-Crowned Mountain in Peru. There's more. Something about a key. What is Trinity looking for in the hidden city?
You heard that too, right?
Let's see where he goes.
Wait, hold on. There's a festival outside. Let's try to blend in.
Jonah! Jonah!
Lara! I was so worried.
I failed. Worse.
What do you mean?
Dominguez. He has the dagger. I lost it. After everything that my father went through, I gave Trinity exactly what they wanted. He'll use the box and the knife to remake the world.
To remake it into what?
I don't know. He thinks he can rid it of sin and weakness. A man like that, we have to stop him. It's all my fault.
We'll figure it out, okay? I promise.
No! We have to get to the hidden city before Trinity. We have to find the silver box.
Okay, but first, we're gonna help these people get to safety, and then we'll go after the box.
No one is safe! Not if he gets the box first! I have to go! I'm the only one!
You're the only one that can what? You don't know that you caused all this, Lara! Not everything is about you! These people need us here. We can do good now! Besides, what do we gotta go on? A riddle? We're gonna need more than pink fish and silver crowns to get to the hidden city.
Peggy 18.
The project began for me in May 2015 when I joined the team. One of the first conversations I had was with creative director Dan. We really want authenticity in the South American cultures that we're going to represent. I started to look around for specialists in South American music and those kind of sounds, and very quickly came up the name Brian De La Vera.
Rob came by in person to the studio, very nonchalantly actually. He just showed up and, hey, how's it going? I want to chat to you about something I'm working on. Could possibly work. And yeah, it's Tomb Raider. He's, and I was floored actually.
One of the first sort of concepts that really came out of that meeting for the sound and for the music was this idea of fear.
Get into the texture of what darkness is. What is that sound? I got so inspired, I basically spent a whole night sleepless and I started recording right away.
It was really weird because that was actually the sound that I had in my head.
It was the beginning of an amazing journey for these past 3 years. I had done a lot of trips in my life. I had gone to Mexico, I'd gone to Peru, I've been all over South America, but I realized that I really needed to go and dig deeper. So I did a specific trip to Mexico where I went instrument hunting. I showed up there with 2 suitcases empty, a little backpack, and I didn't know anybody. And I had 10 days, and this is like, let's go hunt. And I showed up, started making phone calls. I remember one time I found these magical rocks in this town called Minerales de Pozos.
It's made of volcanic rock. Hit the rocks with other rocks, and it sounds very strange.
And I had a little helper, and they were like, "Pinches piedras!" Like, what are you doing taking these rocks?
All these sort of instruments that you would have no idea that could even be used as an instrument.
I filled up 8 bags of instruments, and the beautiful thing was that actually everybody was really helpful. They were just fascinated. They were like, "What? You're taking these pre-Hispanic Mexican instruments and you're doing what? You're doing a video game? Like, what is this?"
Many different instruments. The ones that really stand out to me as being really unique are the death whistle, which is like more of an Aztec instrument. It's like a clay skull, which is various sizes but make very scary, almost like a human scream sound.
I actually spent some time with makers and I learned how to make instruments. I sat down for a couple days and learned how the flutes work, what the mechanics are of and the approach of all these little wind instruments and drums.
Some of the percussion instruments like the teponatzli, which is a kind of horizontal wooden log, which has a really unique sound to it, and the huehuetl, which is a hollowed out tree trunk, more of a sort of a stand-up kind of drum, which again has this really unique sound to all those three together obviously sound really kind of amazing. One of the things we really wanted to do is to move away a little bit from the more melodic approach of the previous games, go more into that idea of, fear and ambience, and to have the player feel like they don't really know what is music and what is a sound effect.
In a sense, this is how they approach music also in pre-Hispanic cultures. It's not just the flute that makes a melody. Actually, the flute is meant to be a part of the environment and it would emulate certain birds or effects.
So we'll take a lot of elements of Brian's music, like the death whistles and things like that, and we'll actually place them in 3D in a lot of these tomb spaces, so that as the player moves the camera around, they actually hear these musical elements panning around.
So I found 2 instruments that really represented Lara. For me, the main one is the cello, actually. To me, it's her past, it's her physical embodiment. And then I found also this one death whistle, which is actually, it's shaped like a puma and it sounds like a puma, and you hear that all over the game.
In the jungle that she finds herself in, it's a very threatening, very dangerous place. It was really important to get the birds and animals and pick the ones that would really fit in with that idea of fear, like the howler monkeys. There's also birds like the oropendola, which sound really bizarre and really different to the birds that we would expect to hear.
A lot of the instruments you hear are instruments that I found in the Amazonian jungle. This instrument was made by the shaman that I spent time with. And this specific instrument was the starting point for me to actually work the parts of the jungle. I remember being in the middle of the night on ayahuasca and he's playing this.
So another one of the key sort of locations in the game is this hidden city called Paititi. Instead of music as a score, we treat music like source music that people are actually playing in the marketplace or wherever it is. We worked really closely with the animation department to make sure that the right instruments were being played in the correct way. One of the really important things for us was that this game needed to feel very cinematic. So we took the game to Pinewood Studios in the UK. We mixed the game in Dolby Atmos. That really helps to exaggerate this sense of verticality in the game. They mixed so many iconic movies. It felt like the perfect place to finish the project.
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with Mayan and Aztec culture, actually. It's a huge part of me, and to be able to explore that and be real and show the aspects of it that are positive, it was a huge chance for me.
Our goal has always been to create the most visceral, emotional, and intense Tomb Raider experience that's ever been seen. The work we've done on the sound and the music all feels really like it's achieved that goal, and it's something I'm very proud of.